These are my favorite verses in one of my favorite books. I've got 66 favorite books. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with anger. Now, I'm sure you've wondered, what did Jesus write? Right? Isn't that a question? When you read these scriptures, it's, boy, I wish I knew what Jesus wrote down. Well, let me tell you, Jesus didn't tell you what he wrote down because that wasn't what was important here. It wasn't what he was writing, it's who was writing. He bent down and he wrote, "If anyone is without sin, let him be the first to throw the stone again." Again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground. How many times were the 10 Commandments presented to the nation of Israel? How many times did Jesus write on the ground? See, I'm pulling a golden thread. You see that? These are connections, Old Testament to New Testaments. Now turn to Exodus chapter 31. This is about the Sabbath. This is the law being given from Moses, received by God to the nation of Israel. And we get down to verse 18. I want to read that verse for you. Y'all with me? Remember John chapter 8, Jesus bent down, wrote twice upon the ground. We don't know what he wrote, but we know he was the lawgiver. And here it says in verse 18, when the Lord finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, he gave him 2 tablets of the testimony, the tablets in stone, and you read the rest of it, inscribed by the finger of God. Now, what we've got in the Old Testament is the lawgiver, right? Under the law, it separates people from God because we're aware of our sinfulness according to the law. The only way to get back into a right relationship with God in the Old Testament was for something to die. There had to be blood atonement made in the Old Testament for the atonement of sin. And Israel was continually coming before God in the tabernacle to accomplish this relationship with God, to restore themselves back to God because of a broken relationship due to the sins that they committed. In the New Testament, we have here the lawgiver stooping down, writing upon the ground, pointing to the fact that he was the lawgiver in the Old Testament, but he is the salvation of the world in the New Testament. And that's what he's telling us. He's showing us pictorially that it's the same finger in the Old Testament that wrote the law. It's the same finger that was sacrificed on the cross as the atonement, the Ark of the Covenant, the portrayal of who Jesus Christ is in the New Testament.